I'm going to work kind of backwards. Here I've taken a high-speed sync shot at 1/8,000th of a second. I can report that the Ef-X500 does work perfectly, both in single, continuous low, and continuous high for high-speed sync flash photography at any setting that you want. You are limited, however, in burst mode up to right about 4 frames per second. I'm going to work backwards and do the review on the Ef-X500 last and actually do this instructional video. Right on the front we actually have the optical receiver right here at the base. Here at the top we actually have the LED illuminator, which is also used for autofocus assist. It does put out a lot of light. The downside to that is, compared to like Nikon or Canon, we're talking about bright, easily visible illumination. So in a dark club scene this would be pretty much the last sort of autofocus assist lamp you would want lighting up the situation and becoming extremely conspicuous, as opposed to the red and near infrared autofocus assist of the Canon unit. However, this unit is ugly and ungainly. It is actually better to hold than a Nikon Speedlight. I have to be completely honest and supportive of the Fuji Ef-X500. This unit is made by Met. It's actually the block design of this actually makes it easier to hold than the rounded, smooth design of the Nikon Speedlights. This removable head is actually metal. They're using it as a heat sink on the flash head. The rest of it's plastic. That is metal. This unit, compared to the really extremely complicated, however, I've been using the hell out of them. I've got nearly 50 Speedlights. A lot of them are old, but quite a few of them are new. Let me go out of that. Is the extreme ease of operation of this unit. Let me actually show you a couple of features on the Ef-X500. One thing Fuji is lacking is this TTL cable. This is a Velo TTL cable. Fuji uses a Canon pinout. That means the actual pin configuration in the hot shoe to a TTL configuration. The pinout is a Canon. So this is a Canon. This isn't actually a Canon cable. This is a knockoff, which is actually made better than the Canon cable. This is a 6-foot Velo Canon TTL cable. While it says right up here on the Fuji Speedlight, a shoe mount flash EFX, there's nothing more ungainly, insightful, and horrific than the notion of using a hot shoe mounted speedlight illumination. The only people that should be doing that are news photographers, photojournalists, and very, very paparazzi. Basically nobody else. That's the most unflattering, horrific light in the world, so you do need a TTL cable, unless you wanted to buy 2 of these units, which is a huge downfall, because you need 2 of these units, one sitting in the hot shoe, which is ungainly and huge and obnoxious and not a good idea, to control another unit, which would be right here. This would be in the master. I had to actually set this power controller to master and the remote unit set to remote, and that's not so good. Let's go into setup here. Very, very easy. Test button. I'm actually able to assign the test button to like a modeling illumination. Scale units, LCD density, LCD illumination, beep, sensor format. Now, according to this, for what I'm able to deduce, is that the custom setting with a firmware update, that this unit is already pre-configured for use with the medium format Fuji GFX. So this unit is basically already ready to run once Fuji rolls out the GFX. Just hit the setup button again. Here we have the test button over here on the left. We're able to choose between LED and flash mode and 2 versions of a flash configuration control on our 4 buttons here. They particularly call this button the page button, and function buttons 1, 2, and 3. I can control all this unit via the Speedlight, or can control all of this via the back unit of the Fuji X-T2 or the X-T1 running the version 5.0 firmware. What you are getting for $450 on this unit is, to me, some of these things are useful. I use some of them like stroboscopic work. I'm able to enter in mode and go into multi, where I'm actually able to choose the frequency and the number of cycles for stroboscopic work. Most people don't ever use stroboscopic speedlights. I do, but most don't. A lot of what you are getting, and I'll talk about that tonight in the review, is about 60 for most shooters, okay? You're getting about 60% frou-frou that you don't need, and most of you will never use. They are some things that I would use. The two important things I'll talk about tonight, one of them obviously is high-speed sync photography. The other thing is the autofocus assist on this, which you don't have with other speed lights, whether they're hot shoe mounted or TTL cabled or not. That's important for obviously getting autofocus acquisition if you're going to be shooting autofocus in a gritty, low light situation. However, unfortunately, like I've already said, the illumination is bright white illumination, so you're going to startle the hell out of whatever it is you're autofocusing. Fuji actually should have gone to a red or near infrared like the autofocus assist lamps on Nikon. Why they did not do that, I have no idea. It was definitely a bit inept on their part. One of the great things, especially for macro photography, is you can dial down all the way to 1/512th of a second. Hold on a second, let me actually hit my Fuji here. Here we go. Dial down to 1/512th of a second. Very nice. That's in manual. Let me roll it up to here. Flash. Set up. LED. Here's what I'm talking about. This is also the autofocus assist illumination on this unit, which is also dialable. LED plus or minus on the LED. Dial the power down. There we go. Flash. LED off. Okay, there we go. Considering the fact that I've only had this unit for a couple of hours, but I have so much skills with speedlights, figuring this unit out was not only not hard, but this unit, given its complexity, it's actually much better laid out than the Nikon speedlights are. However, with several deficiencies, and I'll do the review tonight. Let's actually go over or have full control via TTL, whether it's sitting on the hot shoe, which I would never use this unit on the hot shoe, okay? I'm not a photojournalist anymore. I'm not a paparazzi. I would never, ever want this damn speedlight sitting in the damn hot shoe. Never the freak, ever, ever, ever. So I'm able to control here, TTL, go over, dial in flash compensation on the back of my camera, and you'll see that it's actually changing over here on the speedlight. I'll go down into TTL mode and click on that. I got standard or slow sync. Standard. Zoom, I went on auto. LED, what I have is the ability to choose catch light or use the front lamp that I was using right now for autofocus assist. That's really the only thing I'd want to use it for. Synchronization, I have what they're calling first curtain and second curtain. First curtain is a front curtain sync, as known in Nikon nomenclature. Second curtain is rear curtain sync. Auto FP, that's high-speed sync, flash photography. Angle for flash priority. Standard or even coverage priority, choose standard. It doesn't really change anything other than the zoom head. So those are the options you have. I'm going to go into menu. I've actually assigned this a function button, so that I don't need to go in Ttl Lock Mode. You can lock with the last flash for TTL metering, or lock with the metering. It's called lock with metering flash. That means that each next shot is going to have its own pre-flashes for TTL metering. Lock with last flash saves time, so it doesn't have to do pre-flashes. That's what that means. That means it will use the pre-flash TTL, the pre-flash metering from the last shot taken, which is great for consecutive follow-up shots. LED lighting illumination, I have all of that via the function button. Everybody should have one of their function buttons. If you're going to have the Ef-X500, you should have one of your function buttons set for flash distribution and the type of flash that you're shooting. Right now I said synchronization, we're on high-speed sync. Works perfectly. High-speed sync flash photography works perfectly. I'll mention all this late tonight. This is actually instructions. TTL, manual, I need to go over. I could set the output for whatever that I want in manual. I think that's pretty obvious. Multi-mode is stroboscopic work, where I can actually go into the number of times, choose my rear command dial 6 times at 4 Hertz or 2 Hertz or 1 Hertz, whatever I want to set for stroboscopic flash photography. Very, very evident. This Speedlight, even though it's complex, like I said, it's a lot easier, very, very simple. Much simpler compared to the Nikon CLS units. Actually, Nikon should take a cue from the Fuji layout. This, like I said, is Speedlight's been designed and built by Metz. Nikon should have taken a cue from Fuji on this one. Even though Fuji should have taken a cue from Nikon on a few things regarding this design, especially the autofocus assist lamp and a few other things. It's like Fuji needs some pointers from Nikon, and Nikon needed some pointers from Fuji about the correct way to design a Speedlight. Very, very simple. I have my LED set for autofocus assist, which is where I want it. Right now I'm in high-speed sync, correct angle, TTL flash photography with no compensation set. Like I said, you can do a +5 or -5 and 3 in 1/3 stop intervals. So that's really wonderful. I have 5 stops of exposure compensation. Like I said, I can set this either on the Speedlight or I can set it on the back of the camera. If you are going to buy the Fuji Ef-X500, I'm going to flat out say that you're a stinking dumbass. Yes, I said that. You're an idiot if you don't buy a Canon TTL cable for you. You don't want this damn Speedlight sitting on the top of this damn camera, okay? Professionals don't shoot that way unless you're a news journalist or a paparazzi, you know, catching Paris Hilton coming out of her car, where flash lighting can be stark and straight on. But any sort of gratifying speedlight illumination, you got to get the damn Speedlight off your damn camera. Just flat out, period, do. Construction actually is rather nice. I did notice that Fuji, which has delayed these Speedlights by like 4 months, they redesigned the function buttons to a much more simpler design than the earlier units that I've seen and held. Flash mode, comp, right. And that's it. We have our command wheel and our selection dial. Off, on, remote. If I want to use this, I'm never going to use this as I'm not going to buy 2 of these Speedlights. I'm not. There are several reasons why the Nissan i60, and I'll talk about tonight, is a superior choice for a lot less money, because a lot of the options that are on the Ef-X500 are frou-frou. They're frou-frou. A lot of people that all the time are asking me about high-speed sync photography, I dare feign to say that half of those people don't even know what high-speed sync photography is for. I have a lot of use for high-speed sync photography. Most people, generally speaking, don't. It is incredibly useful. It is wonderful to have high-speed sync photography. Do not get me wrong. But you are paying another $250 for that, and that will be available on the Nissan i60. So now the Nissan i60 does not have autofocus assist. Even though it has a lamp on it, you can't use it with a Fuji. This one does, but you know, it would be very, very undesirable to use the autofocus assist lamp on this sucker for autofocus assist. You know, Fuji should have taken the cue from Nikon and making the autofocus assist lamp red, dark red. You know, you're just going to blind someone when you go to autofocus assist on them. You're like, what the hell? You know, Nikon designed the autofocus assist lamp to be red and near infrared for a reason, so you're not zapping someone in the eyeballs with some bright illumination. I mean, if I wanted that, I just, you know, Velcro a huge-ass Surefire Surefire flashlight, which is a really powerful LED flashlight on the side of this thing. I mean, that's basically what is in the front of this thing. I mean, when you go to autofocus assist with this Speedlight, that's, let's just say that that's no bueno. This is no bueno. Someone's going to go, what? Seriously, they are. So that's a bit of a sleazy bummer. The locking mechanism is actually quite nice, even though the locking gate, it's the same sort of locking gate that is used on these Velo TTL cables. You can't see it right there. It uses the same locking gate. The plastic locking gate is simple, however slightly fragile. These are known to bust. It's not the most desirable thing in the world, let's put it that way. It's easy to bump this and totally break it off. So I'm not happy with that for $450, but anyway, full review tonight, and I'll go over all the details which I've had listed, but I just wanted to show you this in this video. Some simple instructions. Very, very easy to use. Now, this Speedlight does get like a 10 out of 10 for the intelligence of which it was laid out. It does. It gets a 10 out of 10. Some other things it gets like a 5 out of 5 on. Very, very nice is the high-speed sync capability at any damn shutter speed you want. 1/8,000th of a second, no damn problem. Also, some other important things. Watch the review tonight. I'll mention some very important things that I did not mention in this video. Some pluses and minuses on this Speedlight. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.